Hi, I want to welcome you guys to the 102nd anniversary of National Sovereignty and Children's Day celebration. The first gathering of the Turkish Grand National Assembly took place on April 23, 1920, during Turkey's War of Independence. Mustafa Kemal Atatürk proclaimed the parliament an important step towards building a new state after the Ottoman Empire was defeated during World War I. Atatürk dedicated the Turkish Republic to children in Turkey.
We will start our program with Dr. Pinar Bayraktoydemir, President of UTAA. Please welcome her to the stage to give her opening remarks.
Thank you. Our speakers are awesome. So welcome everyone. So I'm so excited to see all of you. This is, I think, the second event so far. We hit our association build up in 2019. So after COVID, we couldn't do anything. But we wanted to, always wanted to do something, come together, and we did a couple of picnics, but never had a real celebration. And I'm so excited to have all of you here. Welcome. So I just wanted to give you a little bit background of our association, Utaa Turkish Association. So perhaps many of you just in our WhatsApp group, but maybe not a member of the association yet. And then if you want to be members, so you're welcome. And then we will have you in our group, and then in more procedural way. But doesn't matter. So this is the group that we started 2019 August, and Rehan and I have been living here 20 years, and we always wanted to have an association, but we never had enough people to do that. So finally, many people are moving to Utah in Salt Lake City that we actually able to do that. And today is like Ozan and Arya said, and today is the celebration of our National Children's Holiday, and we will have a full program, and I want to welcome all of you. Thank you.
Professor Nilüfer Çatay will address the significance and importance of April 23rd for Turkish and world history. Please welcome Ms. Çatay to the stage.
Thank you. Thank you, Arya. Again, it's so wonderful to be here. And it's such an exciting day because those of us who grew up in Turkey, who spent their childhood in Turkey, will always remember with incredible excitement the significance and importance of April 23rd, or 23 Nisan as we call it for short. As was remarked before, this is a public holiday in Turkey that commemorates the foundation of the Grand National Assembly of Turkey in Ankara on April 23rd of 1920. So today is the 102nd anniversary, and it has been celebrated as a holiday since 1921. During that year, as of course many of you know, the Turkish people were under occupation by a number of countries who were the winners of World War I, namely France, Italy, England, and Greece were the occupying countries, and the people under the leadership of Mustafa Kemal Atatürk engaged in what is called the National War of Liberation, which lasted from 1918 to 1922. and the Turkish Republic was founded in 1923 after the Treaty of Lausanne. And basically, this is a republic that was founded as a secular republic, and it's a republic that rose out of the ashes of the Ottoman Empire, as of course many of you already know. But what was really important is that as the War of Liberation was conducted under the leadership of Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, the decisions of how to conduct the war and what the country would look like, the preparation of the country toward becoming a republic, these decisions were made in the Grand Assembly. And this is extremely significant, not only for Turkish history, but also in some ways the history of the world. When we look at the history of the world and the history of the world in that part of the world, and it was a great inspiration to many peoples around the world, that the Turkish people were able to do that, defend their land in many ways. Today, that's what the people of Ukraine are doing. But they were able to defend their land and then make the decisions about the future of the country in a national parliament with representatives from all around. But of course, these representatives didn't include women. But later, and thanks also to the genius of Atatürk and many women who fought for their rights as women, of course, women did join the parliament and became a part of the nation-building process. Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, the founder of the Turkish state, the modern Turkish state, dedicated the state to children. And the dedication was done formally in 1927. So Turkey is the first country to have a national public holiday, declaring Children's Day a national holiday. There are a number of other countries today which celebrate Children's Day, but Turkey was the first country in history to do so, because he was keenly aware of the preciousness of children, and because he was somebody who was not only a military leader, but he was actually a political leader and someone who had a genius in terms of what we call a nation-building process. And an incredibly visionary leader. So he was a champion of children, he was a champion of also women's rights, and champion of peasants and their capacities, champion of education, and so on, many other things. But in terms of understanding also and appreciation in children, Atatürk also adopted. He didn't have biological children of his own, but he adopted a number of children, mostly girl children, and he made sure that they got good education, and actually some of them became famous. For example, being one of the few women pilots in the world was a woman named Sabiha Gökçen, whom Atatürk had adopted, and there were other children, his adopted children, girl children, who became professors, were educated in very advanced ways, and so on. So it wasn't just sort of symbolic appreciation of children by dedicating a day to them, but he actually also adopted children, especially girl children, because in a country where you have obviously a culture that is patriarchal, and all countries have patriarchal cultures, but differs in the way they are patriarchal. This was also his dedication in a personal way to show that children are smart, they should be educated, they are capable of doing everything that boy children are. And I find this very important, especially when I think about April 23, as I say, 23 Nisan, every year. I find this very important because he also did it in sort of in his, personal life. So on this day, what happens in Turkey is that children symbolically become the quote-unquote rulers of the country, or those who run the country for a day. So every year a child becomes the symbolic president, or when we had a prime minister, the prime minister of the country is interviewed, and or the mayors of towns are sort of symbolically replaced by children. They also are ceremonies in the National Assembly where children also discuss problems that they want to discuss, and problems especially with regard to children, and talk about their desires or what they think the future should be like. And of course this is all very symbolic, but I think it's still there's a significance to this symbolism, because it is actually in a way very empowering for children to know that one day they are going to be the future leaders of the country, and that they are capable of being the future leaders of the country. Since 1979, celebrations of 23 Nisan are carried with children's delegates from around the world, from many different countries. So children's groups from many different countries come to Turkey, and they perform their own national folkloric dances. There's a lot of cross-cultural sharing among children, and they join the celebrations. They also recite poetry, and although especially for the last 2 years, because of COVID, these celebrations were not held with the joy that they usually are, but lots of children of course participate in these celebrations. Also celebrations are held in schools and so on. I want to say that on this day we of course all wish for world peace, and I just want to say that our thoughts are children living under conditions of war, violence, poverty, deprivation, and of course all of those children are in our thoughts as we celebrate today with the usual joy we have. But we also make a wish that all the children of the world live in peace, under conditions of prosperity, free from violence, and receive the love and nurturance that they all deserve. And of course we all as adults remember that they are our most precious beings in life, our children, whether they are our biological children or children of the world. I will finish with a poem by our beloved poet Nazım Hikmet Iran. Of course everybody who knows Nazım, they're shaking their heads. I will read this first in English, and this is my translation, and I'm right now apologizing to Nazım Hikmet, and then I'm going to finish my reading it in the original in Turkish. So the name of the poem is Dünyayı Verelim Çocuklara, which translates it as Let's Give the World to Children. Okay, so I'm going to start with the English version of the poem, which goes like this. let us give the world to children, at least for one day. Let them play with it like a colorful balloon. Let them play, singing songs among the stars. Let's give the world to the children like a huge apple and like a freshly baked bread. Let their stomachs be full, at least for one day. Let's give the world to children for a day. Let them learn about world friendship, even if it's only for a day. Children will take the world from our hands and plant their immortal trees. Now I'm going to read it in the original. This was again, I'm going to read it in Turkish in the original. Okay. Dünyayı çocuklara verelim. Hiç değilse bir günlüğüne. Allı pullu bir balon gibi verelim oynasınlar. Oynasınlar türküler söyleyerek. Yıldızların arasında dünyayı çocuklara verelim. Kocaman bir elma gibi verelim. Sıcacık bir ekmek somunu gibi. Hiç değilse bir günlüğüne doysunlar. Dünyayı çocuklara verelim. Bir günlük de olsa öğrensin dünya arkadaşlığını çocuklar. Alacak dünyayı elimizden, ölümsüz ağaçlar dikecekler. Kutlu olsun. Hepinize kutlu olsun.
Now we're going to show you a video that my wonderful mother, Ishel Hesek, made to commemorate this day. I hope you all enjoy.
It is now time for some Turkish music. Please enjoy kids' performances and our very own Turkish band. Here are tonight's kids' performers. Nehir Yazıcı, Tina Yazıcı, Kumsal Akay, Doruk Toydemir, and Kiara Giordano.
Nasıl sevinmez insan? Bugün 23 Nisan. Bak süslenmiş dört bir yan. Yaşasın 23 Nisan. Millet Meclisi kurduk. Düşman yurttan kovduk. Hürriyete kavuştuk. Yaşasın 23 Nisan. Egemenlik ulusun. Sen bir Türk çocuğusun. Yurdumuzu korursun. Yaşasın 23 Nisan. Bugün gençlik günüdür. Türklerin düğünüdür. Milletin ünüdür. Yaşasın 23 Nisan.
Andımız: Türk'üm, doğruyum, çalışkanım. İlkem, küçüklerimi korumak, büyüklerimi saymak, yurdumu, milletimi özümden çok sevmektir. Ülküm, yükselmek, ileri gitmektir. Ey büyük Atatürk, açtığın yolda, gösterdiğin hedefte durmadan yürüyeceğime ant içerim. Varlığım, Türk varlığına armağan olsun. Ne mutlu Türk'üm diyene.
İzmir'in dağlarında çiçekler açar. İzmir'in dağlarında çiçekler açar. Altın güneş orada sırmalar saçar. Altın güneş orada sırmalar saçar. Bozulmuş düşmanlar yer gibi kaçar. Bozulmuş düşmanlar yer gibi taşa. Adın yazılacak mücevher taşa. İzmir'in dağlarında oturdum kaldım. İzmir'in dağlarında oturdum kaldım. Şehit olanları deftere yazdım. Şehit olanları deftere yazdım. Öksüz yavrularını bağrıma bastım. Öksüz yavrularını bağrıma bastım. Yaşa Mustafa Kemal Paşa yaşa. Adın yazılacak mücevher taşa. Yaşa Mustafa Kemal Paşa yaşa. Adın yazılacak mücevher taşa.
Bugün 23 Nisan. Toplandı bütün vatan, millet meclisimize Atatürk oldu başkan. Kaldırıldı hasta yurdu, yılmaz bir ordu kurdu. Türk'ün şanlı sesini dünyalara duyurdu. Yükseldi bayrağımız, koparıldı bağımız, sultandan ayrılınca kurtuldu toprağımız. Türk çocuğu gül, sevin, yaşa yurdunda emin, bugününü an, bayram et, bugün senindir, senin.
Hello. Okay. Sevinçliyiz hepimiz. Taştı bugün neşemiz. Elleriniz güleriz. Geldi 23 Nisan. Süsleriz biz her yana. Geldi çocuk bayramı. Atatürk'ün armağanı. Yaşa 23 Nisan.
Now we're going to show you a video that my wonderful mother, Ishel Hessek, made to commemorate this day. I hope you all enjoy.
move there. Don't move there. That's What's here?
Young Turkish band.
We just now decided to call ourselves the Turkish Delights. We didn't have a name until.
Wait, I didn't say it.
We didn't agree on that yet.
Bu burada mıydı? Yerde miydi? Bu neredeydi? Yerde miydi? Arya.
Yep. So the first song is called Hatırla Sevgili. In English, it means Remember My Love. This is a basic love song and has been performed by many Turkish musicians over the years.
Hatırla sevgili o mesut geceyi, çamların altında verdiğin bu sevgi. Hatırla sevgili o mesut geceyi, çamların altında verdiğin bu sevgi. Beni mecnun ettin, sen de olasın. Aşkımı inkar edersen Allah'tan bulasın. Beni mecnun ettin, sen de olasın. Aşkımı inkar edersen Allah'tan bulasın. Siz de katılır mısınız bir sonrakine? Lütfen. Bana sen öğrettin aşkı sevdayı, ne çabuk unuttun beni her cayı. Bana sen öğrettin aşkı sevdayı, ne çabuk unuttun beni her cayı. Beni mecnun ettin, sen de olasın. Aşkımı inkar edersen Allah'tan bulasın. Beni mecnun ettin, sen de olasın. Aşkımı inkar edersen Allah'tan bulasın.
Which means embroider a rose. This is a traditional Turkish folk song about a young couple who are in love but whose families do not approve of their marriage. The girl sits at home and expresses her love, anger, sadness, longing, and frustration through her embroidery.
Çemberimde gül oya, gülmedim doya doya. Çemberimde gül oya, gülmedim doya doya. Dertleri karıyorum, günleri saya saya. Al beni kıyamam seni. Dertleri karıyorum, günleri saya saya. Al beni kıyamam seni. Pembe gül idim soldum, akgüllet oldum. Pembe gül idim soldum, akgüllet oldum. Karşı karşı dururken yüzüne hasret kaldım. Al beni kıyamam seni. Karşı karşı dururken yüzüne hasret kaldım. Al beni kıyamam seni. Karşı karşı dururken yüzüne hasret kaldım. Al beni kıyamam seni. Karşı karşı dururken yüzüne hasret kaldım. Al beni kıyamam seni.
All right. Well, this next song is Yalgazım, meaning I am alone. This is a song from Azerbaijan, where the lovely Bella is from. It is a song about unrequited love. The singer longs for someone who does not love him. The lyrics are in Azerbaijani, which is a little bit different than Turkish. Gönlüm senin esirin, kalbim senindir yar, kalbim senindir. İnsaf eyle o sözle, beni geldindir yar, beni geldindir.
Yalgızam yalgız, yalgızam yalgız. Gel benim öyle yolda sağlam vefasız. Yalgızam yalgız, yalgızam yalgız. Gel benim öyle yolda sağlam vefasız. Söyle nedir bu edalar, bu işte bu naz. Gelir bir gün bu güzellik sevecek olmaz. Next song, Deniz üstü köpürür, which means the sea is roaring or the sea rages. It's another traditional Anatolian folk song.
Guys, can you stop it? We're gonna get fried.
Dizüstü köprü, hey canım, rinanay, rinanay. Kayada insan götürür, hey canım, hey. Benim de şu cihana gelişim, hey canım, rinanay, rinanay. Bir güzelden ötürü, hey canım, hey. Deniz üstü yelkenden, hey canım, rinanay, rinanay. Ecel geldi erkenden, hey canım, hey. Otururken bahçede ateş böceklerini seyre daldım. Dolunay gökte yakamoz vurmuş dibe. Ateş böceklerini seyre daldım. Bu gece bir yaz gecesi, otururken bahçede ateş böceklerini seyre daldım. Hanım eli kokusu karışmış Yasemin'e. Ateş böceklerini seyre daldım bu gece. Kendime benzettim yarışlarını, yönsüz yolsuz kanat çırpışlarını. Eğilmeden güneşe özgür kalışlarını, bir mevsimlik hayat buluşlarını. Kendime benzettim yanışlarını, yönsüz yolsuz kanat çırpışlarını. Eğilmeden güneşe özgür kalışlarını, bir mevsimlik hayat buluşlarını. Dolunay gökte yakamız vurmuş dibe. Ateş böceklerini seyre daldım. Hanım eli kokusu karışmış Yasemin'e. Ateş böceklerini seyre daldım bu gece.
Move the microphone. Oh, this song is Arkadaşım Eşek, My Friend the Donkey. This song was written by the Turkish musician Barış Manço, who was one of the first Anatolian rock musicians who became very popular in the 70s and 80s. The song we are about to sing, My Friend Donkey, is about someone reminiscing about their childhood friend who is a donkey. Feel free to join in if you know the song.
Yeah, you can like sing it.
Kaç yıl oldu saymadım köyden göçeli. Mevsimler geldi geçti
remember, we are playing Memleketim, which is my homeland. This song uses a traditional Jewish folk song, a song that was actually used in Fiddler on the Roof. In 1972, Ayten Alpman, a Turkish jazz musician, sang this in the Eurovision Song Contest in Turkish. It is about the love of one's homeland.
Buna katılırsınız artık. Havasına, suyuna, taşına, toprağına bin can feda tek bir dostuma. Her köşesi cennetin ezilir yanar için. Bir başkadır benim memleketim. Lay lay lay lay lay lay lay lay la la lay lay la la lay lay la la lay lay lay lay lay lay lay lay lay. Lay lay lay lay lay lay lay lay la la lay lay la la lay lay lay lay lay lay lay lay lay. Anadolu'm bir yanda, yiğit yaşar koynunda. Aşıklar destan yazar dağlarda. Kuzusuna, kurduna, Yunus'una, Emrah'a. Bütün alem kurban benim yurduma. Lay lay lay lay lay lay lay lay. La la lay lay la la lay lay. La la lay lay lay lay lay lay lay lay lay. Lay lay lay lay lay lay lay. La la lay lay la la lay lay. La la lay lay lay lay lay lay lay. Mecnun'a, Leyla'sına erişilmez sırrına. Sen dost ararsan koş Mevlana'ya. Yeniden doğdum dersin, derya olur gidersin. Bir başkadır benim memleketim. Lay lay lay lay lay lay lay lay. La la lay lay la la lay lay. La la lay lay lay lay. Lay lay lay. Lay lay lay lay lay lay. Duyamıyorum. La la lay lay lay lay lay lay lay lay lay. Lay lay lay lay lay lay lay lay. La la lay lay la la lay lay. La la lay lay lay lay lay lay lay lay lay. Lay lay lay lay lay lay lay lay. La la lay lay. La la lay lay lay lay lay lay lay lay lay. Bir başkadır benim memleketim.
The groom's halay is from the Balkan Thracian Turks. People typically do this dance at weddings. We'd be very happy if you'd come up and join us. We insist you.
Okay, we don't need the song. We don't need the song.